Everyone in the village knew about Weatherby House, a crumbling mansion at the edge of the forest, tangled in ivy and even more tangled in rumors. It had stood abandoned for over 50 years, ever since the last of the Weatherby family vanished without a trace. No one went near it. Not the farmers, not the thrill-seeking teenagers. Even the foxes that howled at night steered clear of its grounds. But Thomas wasn't from the village. He was a young historian from the city, freshly out of university and full of confidence. He'd heard the stories, of course. The locals loved to share them, especially with outsiders. Missing children, strange lights in the windows despite no electricity, and the pale face seen in the attic window every Halloween. Thomas laughed it off. Old houses creak and settle, he'd say. People see what they expect to see. So when he rented a small cottage in the village for the winter to work on his dissertation, his curiosity led him straight to Weatherby House. He told himself he just wanted a few photos, maybe some inspiration for his thesis. But in truth, he wanted to prove there was nothing there. He went on a cloudy October afternoon. The sky was low and heavy, and the wind smelled of rotting leaves. Weatherby House stood silent and waiting, its dark windows like watching eyes, its front door slightly ajar, as if inviting him in. Inside, the house was heavy with dust and decay, wallpaper peeled in long strips. The air was damp and thick, but it was the silence that truly unnerved him, not peaceful silence, but a listening kind, as though the house itself was holding its breath. Thomas walked slowly down the hallway, his footsteps echoing through the empty rooms. His boots left clear prints in the thick layer of dust, like footprints on the moon. He flicked on his flashlight, though gray light still filtered through the broken windows. The beam caught on peeling portraits, collapsed staircases, and mirrors. There were mirrors everywhere, in the living room, in the hall, even the kitchen, old ones, cloudy, cracked. But they all had something in common. The reflections seemed delayed. He didn't notice at first, but when he turned his head and saw his reflection hesitate a moment too long, he froze. He tested it, moved again. The reflection lagged, just slightly, just enough. He laughed nervously. "Tired, that's all," he muttered. "Just tired." He climbed the staircase. It groaned under his weight, and every step echoed like someone else was walking just above him. At the end of the upstairs hallway was the attic door, the one the villagers always whispered about, the one with the face in the window. It was slightly open. Thomas touched the doorknob. It was ice cold, like touching metal in the dead of winter. He took a breath and pushed it open. The attic was empty, dust, broken chairs, and a large round window at the far end overlooking the village. The sun was beginning to set. The sky was burning red. And then he saw it, his reflection, in the window. But it wasn't moving. Thomas stepped closer. His own face looked back at him, but it didn't mirror him. It simply stood there, grinning. The smile was twisted, inhuman. Slowly, the reflection raised its hand. Thomas couldn't move. And then it knocked on the inside of the glass. Knock, knock, knock. 1, 2, 3. Thomas stumbled backward. The window didn't crack, but the reflection was gone. He ran down the stairs, tripping over himself, gripping the railings like lifelines. The mirrors in the hallway no longer showed him, only shadows standing behind him. He didn't dare look back. He burst from the house, boots digging into the mud, and didn't stop until he reached its cottage. He locked the doors, closed the curtains, hid the mirrors. 3 days passed. He didn't eat, didn't sleep. He saw that face in every reflection, the kettle, the doorknob, the window panes. It smiled, and it knocked. On the fourth day, rain came to the village. The locals said someone had gone to Weatherby House again. The front door was open. There were footprints in the dust, but no one ever saw Thomas leave. Now every Halloween, the pale face returns to the attic window. But the grin is wider, and if you look closely, very closely, it looks just like a young man with a city accent and a flashlight in his hand.